my friends. Welcome to Storytime with Gythia, Sheila, McNallen. That is me. I am one of the teachers with our Asatru Academy, and I have some very special children's books that I'll be sharing with you. One I've chosen for today is especially for today because today is Halloween, and this is a Halloween story. In the book, it is called Hallowed Evening because that is what Halloween is. It's shortened to Halloween. But it is a remarkable story about enchanted forests and what might happen if you would go into the forest tonight. It is called Child of Faerie, Child of Earth by Jane Yolen, and the pictures are by Jane Dyer. The little girl in the story carries a lantern, but if you look at this picture, you can see her there in the back wearing her orange and red outfit right up in the tree. Look closely. There's somebody watching and he's wearing green. He was a child of fairy folk, a child of sky and air. And she was a child of humankind, of earth and toil and care. They met on the dusk of Hallows Eve, when widows grieve and widows weave. They met in the dark of Hallows Eve. She had flowers in her hair. And again, take a look now. She's collecting flowers. There he is. And the next page. He says to her, "And where do you go, O child of earth? Oh, why do you wander here? Are you not afraid of the fairy race whose castles are so near?" She says, "Mamma says there's no such thing as fairy wing and elven's ring. She says there's never been such a thing, and I should have no fear." He took her by her dirt-soiled hands and led her to his hall. He showed her brownies and bogles and sprites and elven folk and all. She ate the grass, she drank the dew, the fairy brew of rainbow hue. She danced all night with the elven crew and didn't sleep at all. Again, look at that. Looks like fun. And he says to her, "Oh, stay with me, dear human child, become a child of night. We'll dance between the hollow hills, bedecked in candlelight. And ever after Halloween, clothed all in green, my fairy queen, you'll be the loveliest ever seen, the elven court's delight." So he is imagining that if she could stay, she could live there and be the queen of the fairies. It looks very nice, but what's this one? And that. And she says, she looked around the fairy hall beneath the hollow hill, and all the glamour round her spun to bend her to his will. But with a sigh she shook her head. "That's not my bread and drink," she said. "I cannot on your food be fed, and still my needs fulfill." Hmm. But since I've danced with you this night, This day you dance with me." She took him by his grass-green sleeve and led him o'er the lea. She led him down the farmyard road, past meadows mowed and gardens hoed. She led him o'er the human road, and full of awe was he. He'd never seen such things. He was a creature of night. And there they are. They stroked the cat, they milked the cow, they fed each chick and hen. He marveled at the sounds and smells of barn and yard and pen. He drank cold milk and ate brown bread. He made a bed, he cleaned a shed. He followed everywhere she led, and round about again. Again, there they are. He's standing behind, feeding the chickens. There aren't chickens where he lives. Long day. It looks like it's sunset. "Oh, stay with me, dear fairy child, and live here on the land. We'll till the soil, we'll plow the field, we'll harvest hand in hand. The night is fair, but day is best, so be my guest, forget the rest." And on her suit she pressed, with strong and sure demand. What's going to happen next? He looked around the human world, a world of gold and brown, a world where farmyard turns to village, village into town, a world of colors pure and bright, of open sight, of warm sunlight, unlike the shadowed world of night, of moon and thistle down. Remember what his home is like? Oh, there again. That's where he lives. He thought about the fairy hills, the fairy queens and kings. He thought about the cold, cold stars that shone on fairy wings. "I miss my own. I cannot stay. You work, I play. I must away. I'll keep the night and you the day." He stretched translucent wings. Oh, wait," she cried to him. "At least a gift I'll give, reminding you that here above is where a friend does live." And through the daylight world again, past denizen of farm and pen, she tracked past horse and cow and hen to find a gift to give. Again, there she is. Wonder what she'll find. That's pretty simple. At last she found a fresh hen's egg, a gift from humankind, so he'd remember earth and toil when he'd left both behind. Then in return he touched the shell, and with a spell of "Fare thee well," extracted from that fragile shell a feather to remind. What did he do? He took a feather out of the egg without breaking it. And here it is. There's the feather. "I give you this that comes from that," the fairy child replied. "That egg and feather both shall serve as token and as guide, that we may both go arm in arm and fear no harm, nor take alarm when visiting in hall or farm or other lands besides. And there he is with his feather for her. Here we go. Time has passed. They're grown up. The gifts exchanged, they each went back to homes they loved full well. But now and then they visited, helped by a fairy spell. And through the years, and though the years flew quickly past, they were friends fast, from first to last, which left all skeptics flabbergast at how they did so well. Ta-da! Look at them now. So, here's the last picture. There's another, well, another fairy child. So if one lucky Hallows Eve you hear the night birds sing, and see a child of fairy guise with bright and gauzy wing, a flutter in a moonlit glade, and all arrayed in silver shade, be bold, be brave, be unafraid, and join that fairy ring. Wow. Wonder if you'd do that. Tonight, if you're out walking around, if you go into the woods, do you think you'd find any fairies there? Well, we believe in the land Vatir. We all know that we have land spirits at our land, and it could be that one looks like a fairy, maybe a fairy boy or a fairy girl. But what's special about this is that when they left, they exchanged a gift. We call that gabo. The rune is gabo. We look like this. It's a gift for a gift. She gave him the egg, he gave her the feather from the egg, and that was bound their friendship forever until they grew very old together and stayed friends. Could they live together? No, no. He was a child of night, she was a child of day. The fairy world, the human world. And right now, Halloween is when the veil is thin and things can happen like that, as it shows in this story. It's also a time for us to connect with our mothers and our grandmothers and all those ancestors who've gone on, because the veil is thin for them too. Maybe tonight in your dream, you will get somebody that you don't really quite know who will whisper in your ear or touch you and make you feel very loved, because those are our ancestors and they're always with us. I'm going to have more stories for you soon. I hope you enjoyed this. But this is especially my Halloween story, but I like it any time of year. It's a feel-good story and it's a beautiful poem. There are lots of good words in here for you to learn. So maybe your parents can get a copy of the book and read it with you, and you'll learn a lot from it. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you and more of these story times. And if you're not in the Asatru Academy, maybe your parents could enroll you in it. We'd love to see you. It is the home school for our children here in the Asatru Folk Assembly. Thank you, and happy Halloween, happy Samhain, and happy winter nights. May our ancestors be with you and give you great blessings and love this night. Bye-bye.